Welcome to another episode of Behind the Now. Today I get to chat with storyboard artist, animator, and comedian Davey Jarrell. Currently, Davey works as a storyboard artist at Nickelodeon. Since graduating from USC in animation and digital arts, Davey has worked on many animated shows. Listen in to learn about a really cool story about his first internship working at SpongeBob SquarePants, the day-to-day of working on top animated shows, as well as what it's like to go unexpectedly viral on TikTok. Hey Davey, thank you so much for talking with me today. I'm super excited to talk with you and meet you, so thanks for doing this.
Same here. Thank you so much for reaching out to me.
Yeah, of course. Davey, so you are a storyboard artist at Nickelodeon. How did you get to that point? What's your story been? How did you even get into animation and know you want to do that? Yeah, take it from there.
I mostly watched Nickelodeon when I was a little kid, and SpongeBob was always my favorite. And I was always drawing it. I would I had these Crayola markers and just white printer paper, and I was always drawing SpongeBob. He was like the first character that I could draw from memory, because I did like
That's amazing.
pause the screen and draw the frame.
That
from
is
SpongeBob
really
or
amazing.
Disney movies or whatever. So he was the first character I could draw from memory, and I also liked doing the voices. So just listening, watching the cartoon and just repeating every line. And I don't know, I was just kind of obsessed with it. I knew probably every line of every episode of those first 3 seasons of SpongeBob.
Wow. And you later interned at SpongeBob, right?
Yeah, that was my first job.
That's amazing. How cool.
On SpongeBob, which was really cool because I have a very distinct memory of being about 8 years old on the couch watching SpongeBob with my grandpa. And I don't know why he was thinking so far into the future, but he said, so what do you want to do when you grow up? What's your career going to be? And I just looked at the TV and I said, work on SpongeBob. Wow. And he said, well, there are a lot of issues with that. And first one being, there's no way they're still going to be making it by the time I'm an adult. And then, they're still making it and there's no end in sight.
Right.
So
that is amazing.
That was very exciting to get to, for him to get to see that. And he also remembered that conversation really well. And he was very excited too.
Wow, that is such a cool story. That's really cool. Because I'm thinking of you had such a natural inclination, because I would watch SpongeBob here and there, but I didn't pause it to draw them, that didn't occur to me. So that's it's really your natural thing.
Yeah, and I used to hold SpongeBob drawing contests at school, in elementary school, where people would compete. And I would judge. I'd give them grades. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
And then when I got a little bit older, I started making up my own characters and making little comics when I was 12 years old. And I had also gotten really into a couple other shows that they were a little bit before my time on Nickelodeon, so I discovered them a little bit later, but I liked them just as much as SpongeBob, and that was Rocko's Modern Life and Ren and Stimpy. And I studied all of the artists behind all 3 of those shows, and it made sense that if I was drawn to one, I'd be drawn to all 3, because first off, a lot of the same people worked on all of those shows.
Oh, interesting.
And also, they all use the same approach to making cartoons, which is called a Storyboard Driven approach, which is where...
Interesting, yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of that. It's
No, I know storyboarding, but definitely explain it. It's interesting.
Yeah. So Storyboard Driven is where they don't write scripts. Someone will come up with an idea for an episode, and then they just start drawing it. And so you're kind of forced to think visually.
Right. Okay.
And so the humor is not really coming from the dialogue so much as it's coming from just the way the characters are behaving.
Interesting.
Animated movies are almost all done with that approach, but it's unusual for TV because it's a little more time consuming and expensive. And when you're doing storyboard driven, you have to find people who can both write and draw. Yeah. Which isn't always easy. But those have always been the kind of shows that I like the best.
Okay, so you like storyboard driven shows, which means, does that actually come from originally like from comics? Is it like a correlation there or not really?
I don't know much about comics or the history of comics or how much the artists write them. Yeah. But I know it does come from animation. The first several decades of animation were storyboard driven. It's just when it went from theaters to TV and they had to produce so much content, it was useful to have actual writers come in and just do that part of the process.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So, okay. So I see. So it's like you pointed out that the humor comes more from the physicality and the behavior of the characters instead of like dialogue driven of what they're saying. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. So fascinating.
I think that this is just my idea. That the live action equivalent are improv shows like It's Always Sunny or Curb Your Enthusiasm. I feel like they have the same kind of flavor to storyboard driven animated shows where it just kind of feels very naturalistic. And they're working the same way where they just have an outline. Right, and then they make up all the dialogue on the spot.
Right. Oh, I love that analogy. Yeah. It's like you have the blueprint, like you know what you're living. You have this circumstance and now you're just going to live in it.
You know where you need to go. Like you know where you're starting and you know where you need to go. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't realize that animation had those distinctions as well.
Yeah. Storyboard driven is not as common just because it's like SpongeBob does it, but it's just a lot more costly. Time consuming. And you don't always know it's riskier too. You don't know what you're going to get. You can, if you decide you want to rewrite something, well, you have to throw out all the drawings too.
Right. And those are hand done.
Weeks of work.
Right. And those are like hand drawn, right? Okay. Oh, interesting.
And I draw storyboards on Cintiq in a program called Toon Boom Storyboard Pro, but I'm still drawing it.
Okay, got it. Okay. So that's
it's just
amazing.
Digitally instead of on paper.
Okay, that's so interesting. So what is like your day-to-day like as a storyboard artist at Nickelodeon? It probably differs, right? It's not always the same, but if you can speak to that, like...
Yeah. Well, Nickelodeon, the schedules are really generous, I've found. We get quite a bit of time to do it. So I'm assigned an 11-minute episode that I have 7 weeks to do. Okay. And I'm given a script. It's usually about 15 pages. Okay. And I spend the first 2 weeks doing what's called thumbnails, where you're just blocking it out. You're figuring out where the characters are on screen, where they're moving, what set pieces are required and props, and you're just kind of indicating all of these things. The drawings are almost incomprehensibly bad because you're just
right. You're just like getting the placement and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, only really you need to be able to interpret.
Okay, got it. It's like for yourself. You don't need. Okay, awesome.
It's not presentable. Okay. But hopefully your director can understand it. At least look at it and, along with your explanation, be able to understand and then give notes. So after that, I get notes from the director and the showrunners, and then I have 3 weeks to basically do the whole storyboard. And that basically looks like a comic book version of the finished animated show.
Okay.
Where it's all the key drawings, nothing in between. So
okay.
If a character is standing, when something's animated, you need to draw, this pose, then this.
Right, exactly.
This,
I know that
to
much.
make it move. Yeah. So then storyboards would just have this drawing and then standing up.
Okay, got
drawings.
it. Yeah, you're not like having to draw like every little movement to like from A to B. It's more like, it's more like A, B, not like A.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And then that stuff is done. I don't know where it's being done on this show, but usually it's done in Korea.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because TV animation, for the most part, has been done overseas for the last 50 years.
Wow, that's across all animation in the U.S.?
For series, like a lot of features, like Disney and Pixar and DreamWorks features are animated here, but for a series, it's almost entirely done out of the country.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know more about like for features history and like the process there. Like I took history of animation and that did not occur to me, right? I'm like, I would have remembered if that, but okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So you guys is that like a division in Korea of Nickelodeon sort of thing? And
no, just Nickelodeon will contract a studio.
Okay, got it. Okay. And so from the point at which you have a final storyboard, which are like the main positions of each character, they go and do like they make it fluid. Like they bring in those like in between.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's so, and then what's the timeline on that?
And that would be that takes 9 months from start to finish for an 11-minute animated show. That's pretty much industry standard. Okay. And when I tell people that, they don't think it makes any sense. It's like, well, then how do you get like 20 done in a year if it takes 9 months?
Right, like
the
turn,
because it's an assembly line. So I spend 7 weeks on my part, and then I have 7 weeks on the next part, and so then there's like a dozen episodes in production at once in different stages with different people doing different parts of the pipeline.
Oh, interesting. So like how many storyboard artists are there about at Nickelodeon? Like, or on one show at Nickelodeon? Okay.
On our show, there's 6. Oh. So that's about standard. There's probably about 6 per show. Yeah. Big budget shows like SpongeBob, there's more. Okay, yeah, because I mean, like 6 actually doesn't sound like that much, It's not, like for a whole show when you say it like that, like the amount of time. That's really amazing. Wow. Okay. Yeah, crews are usually pretty tight knit.
Yeah, that's so cool. And so you guys work very closely, like you all know each other well.
Well, we used to. But we've
like because of COVID, you're saying? Right. Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Actually, just yesterday was our first day back in the office, so I do have a desk at the studio now if I want to go use it.
Oh, that's amazing. And then, but are you not required to go in right now? It's still like hybrid?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So do you have all the equipment you need to at home? How does, Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, luckily most people already did because they were already doing this work on their own before they got hired to do it.
Okay, got it. That makes sense.
You just need the software and a Cintiq or a tablet, just the screen to draw on.
Right. Oh, amazing. Okay, cool. And then which roles do you work most closely with? I know you mentioned like you definitely collaborate with the director. So there's several storyboard artists, but you guys are kind of working on individual projects, right?
Right. Yeah, every show works different. On this one, it's just one person per episode. So really the only people I collaborate with are the director and supervising director and showrunners.
Oh, okay.
Because those are the ones that give me notes.
Like the direct. Okay, got it. And then when you say this show, can you say what show you're talking about?
Oh, sure. It's called Rock,
Okay,
Paper,
good.
Scissors.
I just wanted to make sure.
It hasn't come out yet.
Yes, right. It hasn't come out. Yes, yeah. That's so exciting.
But I worked on a show a few years ago, a PBS show called Let's Go Luna, which was storyboard driven. So that was really fun for me. It's the only storyboard driven show I've worked on. And I actually had a storyboard partner, and we would collaborate on the episode.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So that was really fun. That was, getting to go into the office and just bounce ideas off of someone the whole time.
Was it ever something like, was it ever harder because there's someone else? Like you guys wanted to go in different directions on something and it's like, how was it?
Never happened.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can see how that could be a problem.
Yeah.
But no, it didn't happen. I didn't see it happen at all on that show.
Okay.
I think our boss did a really good job pairing us.
Oh, interesting.
I think he saw who's going to work well together. He did a really good job with that because it always worked out.
Oh, okay. So that could be a problem, I guess, like theoretically, but still, that's cool.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people in animation are are pretty easy to work with.
Yeah. I've actually noticed that, like anyone that's in animation, they're always really nice, like really friendly. It really does seem like that in animation. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, I guess you probably knew animators in school, right?
Yeah. And we also had like speakers come in, like for that class specifically. It was history of animation. We would have different speakers come in. They were always just so amazing, their work, just brilliant. And then also so down to earth and like would talk to you, just amazing. All of them. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I really like, I know a lot of actors and comedians and stuff too. And the ones I know are really great too.
Yeah.
But I know that they can have a reputation for being in it for the wrong reason. Whereas like you can't find that in animation because no matter how good you get or how well known your work is, you'll never be well known.
And I guess
so. No one is in it for that reason.
Yeah, it's like it's the brains and the genius behind what you see. Yeah.
Right.
It's really amazing, though. It's like, oh my gosh, like so much talent is required. I was just blown away in that class, like every day. Yeah. What do you recommend? I assume animation artists have very different styles or like very individual styles, right? Is that true? Like people have very...
Yeah, no two people draw the same.
Yeah. So then what advice do you have for someone coming up in animation and like finding their style and approaching even jobs and like is that like a natural thing for people?
I think everyone naturally has a style.
Okay.
So I wouldn't try to find one. I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like a style finds you, Yeah,
a style finds you, right? Like probably from when you were really young, you had a style.
Yeah, and what you watched, what you absorbed, just the way you draw naturally is how I define style.
Awesome.
So I would just my advice would be to just learn the pipeline and the different jobs that go into making animation. Whether it's the actual animation, which is doing all of those in between drawings, like actually bringing it to life, which is probably the coolest part of the process. It's just not really done here anymore. Or it's storyboarding, or it's character design, or it's doing backgrounds, or writing, or voice acting. Figure out which part you like the best or which you're best at, and just go all in on that.
Right.
Seek people out on Instagram who do what you want to do, and they're nice. They'll probably respond.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, and then
just get as much advice as you can.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then you mentioned going back a little bit. So you said like you get the script.
Yeah.
What is a script for animation? Does a script for animation look like a script for other like the same pretty much like same
It looks
formatting and
identical.
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
Same
So I've actually
formatting. It's
seen.
just dialogue and stage direction.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I've had some voiceover auditions, and I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, they look the same, but I wonder for like a show, it is the same then. Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. And then I know you also have done stand up and you still do stand up. What's that like? Like, why did you decide to even try stand up?
It's terrifying.
That's what I would think. I worked at a comedy club for a while before COVID. Yeah. It was just.
But you didn't go up?
No, I worked there. So I was exposed a lot and everything. But it's incredible. It's like, yeah.
I don't know. I've always just kind of I never wanted to pursue that professionally.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
that's a tough route to go, to put all your eggs in that basket.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think it's hard enough just to do it as a hobby. But I don't know. I've always just kind of had a fantasy of myself just being on stage with a microphone and people laughing. And so I tried to make it happen.
Okay, nice. So you just tried it out.
I discovered, I mean, all the stuff that I watched when I was a kid, it's always comedy. It's animation or movies. Like all the media I consumed, I always just like comedy. And I always made people laugh when I was a little kid. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know why most of the time. I think it was just so odd. Yeah. But at a certain age, when I gained some level of self-awareness, figured out, okay, why is what I'm doing or saying making people laugh? And then I had some control over it. Right. And then I always did the school plays in high school. And there was one play in particular in ninth grade. We did The Secret Garden. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a kid's play. Yeah. I know the name for sure, Okay. I don't remember the storyline right now. Yeah. Well, the main guy is this kid who is in a wheelchair. Now, the play is not a comedy. Mm-hmm. And that is not a funny role. Mm-hmm. And I got cast as that role. And as soon as I went on stage for the first performance, is like after I said my first line, the audience just erupted in laughter. It's like and of course I played into that. And the show just became a comedy. Just like that. So funny. I love that. So I didn't know how to do anything else. That actually reminds me of me too. Yeah. Yeah, you always That's hilarious. Comedy? Well, like, growing up, gravitate towards? Well, no, both. Definitely both, like drama and comedy, but growing up for sure, and still, like, like people who are close to me think I'm like hilarious, but but what you were saying about the play reminded me, like in high school, we did Cinderella, and I was like, I think the character's name is like Lionel, or it's like the butler type of assistant. Yeah. Okay. And these other girls were cast as like Cinderella and like the sisters. And I remember there's one part where the stepsisters are like fighting or something, whatever. But I was always just like standing on the side because I was just like the butler, like just standing there. But I remember like people were laughing a lot just because of how I was reacting to them. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like about, like I heard this kind of after the fact, like, cause like people were like laughing so much and it wasn't really like funny what they were doing. But I think because I was like looking at them like what, like, like this, like as the butler, if that makes sense. Yeah. So you didn't go into it with that intention. You just found out later that it had that impact.
exactly. And apparently, it was like my reactions, I guess. And I don't even, I can all I kind of remember now is what I actually thought of those girls, like when they were playing. Like I remember thinking, like, this is like, you know what I mean?
In the moment then. You were reacting totally genuinely. If that's what you remember.
Yeah, I guess so. Because I don't, And then I know, like, from like people there that's what was actually going on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like from the outside. Yeah. So that's what that reminded me. When you said that. Yeah. Okay, awesome. And you also have this whole other life going on where you're viral on TikTok and you have some pretty cool videos. Yeah. So you mentioned that was just like completely unexpected, right? That's just like, I don't know how you can't really plan for that to happen. Yeah, you can't. Right.
Which is amazing how many people telling me that I'm lying to go, like, just for the sake of going viral, as if that's a thing. That's even like a conversation. That's so stupid. That's so TikTok's I don't know who's there, you know? Like people come up with like everything. All the people are there. Yeah. All types.
I know, yeah. Do you want to talk a bit about that? Yeah.
Well, I was never on TikTok. It kind of annoyed me because I'm like 80 years old. I just open it up and you're just bombarded with sounds.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So it kind of drove me nuts. Like I know there's like a lot of good stuff on there, but just the app itself was tedious,
I get it.
I thought. Totally, so I was never really on it. And I didn't have an account. And my friend that I was with one night, a few months ago now, she was trying to get me to drink something other than water because she noticed I wouldn't. And I said, no, you don't understand. I've gone my entire life just drinking water. I'm not gonna change that now. It's like, there's no way. I'm not gonna like anything else. Like I have my mind set on this.
Right. And just to clarify, that's you've grown up like that. Like you've never wanted to try, like you didn't want to try any like juices or anything that has like a color or like a smell. Am I right? Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. It just freaked me out. Can't really explain why, but it did. It just shouldn't be like that. Just if you're gonna consume a liquid,
like
it should be clear.
Water.
It's dirty water. And she was just listing different things. I was like, no, I'm not gonna have it. And she said, okay, what if I film you and put it on TikTok? And I said, oh, okay, sure. So it was that easy.
Oh, wow. Oh, so she just posted it and it's like on her account or something?
Well, it's on my account. Like we made my account and she like posted it to my account.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking originally maybe, Okay, got it.
Yeah. Well, actually, she did first post it to her account and like 15 minutes later said, recommended, no, why don't you make an account? We'll post it to yours instead.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, we just walked down the street to 7-Eleven and got the most repulsive looking beverages, according to me. And then she lined them up and I had to try them. Yeah. And it was horrifying.
So what made you, I just like out of curiosity, right? So you've had this thing about it your whole life, but then what made you suddenly willing to try it? Like the mental part of that, you know? Or did you just like force it?
Oh, I just forced it. It was just the fact that it was being filmed for entertainment.
Okay, got it.
I've always been willing to do just about anything for the sake of the art.
Yeah. Cool. And they're really amazing, actually, because it's actually like, I think this is, I was thinking about, like, I think this is what truly Like something that's so appealing about them is that it's so genuine because it's really like, because I feel like people who haven't only had water like exclusively their whole life kind of take for granted that like they'll easily take a sip of like coffee or tea and it's like completely taken for granted. That might not be the right word, but it's like not even a second thought. You know what I mean? And then to watch you, and it's so much more intentional, right? It's like it's intentional. It's like you're making this choice to try it. And then I think that's why it's so appealing because your reactions are so genuine to that. You know, like you literally have no idea how it's going to make you feel. And then you do it and it's like, we're watching that. So I think that's the really cool thing about it.
Yeah. And people can't, well, it's probably just something that no one has ever really like conceived of.
Yeah. Or like,
Right.
Yeah. Or they just like haven't been exposed to that much, you know, like, or you haven't even given it much thought until they see that they come across. I think that exists, you know, I think everyone has that for different things, but I think also specifically that it's for a drink, which is such an easy thing to just film and it's like hits you right away. Yeah. It's like such a visceral thing, you know?
Yeah. I guess I got lucky with how well that took off. Yeah. I mean, it's not would I ever imagine?
Right, you can never
being known for.
Right, you can't plan that. That's so funny. Yeah.
But to people who have known me a long time, they love it because they've always known this about me.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Like they've always been so amused by it. And it's like, oh, now the whole world is.
Yeah, interesting. Cool. That is cool. Are you still...
But there are a lot of people who don't know me as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Who still think it's a lie.
Yeah. I know. You have to just... Yeah.
Where they say like... It's like, no, I swear I've seen you like drink before. Yeah. It's like when we were out, like, no, you haven't. I promise you haven't.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. That's so funny. Yeah, you can't really you can't cater to everyone, that's for sure, you know, on TikTok.
Not with those numbers. Yeah.
So are you still posting videos of trying new drinks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep doing that. Yeah. I don't know how long I can do that for.
Right, because eventually you'll taste everything.
I've filmed a few more that I haven't yet posted.
Okay. Yeah.
My friend Charlotte, shout out to Charlotte Vevers, who's also in animation. And she has filmed and edited most of my videos.
Oh, okay, cool. And
a lot of the ideas are hers.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Yeah. She's the creative mind behind it. So do you have like you started probably just like totally for fun, right? Like just like a random, but do you have kind of a strategy with it now or yeah? Like do you guys have a
Yeah.
Okay.
My strategy is because obviously just trying drinks can only go on for so long.
Right.
Is to kind of slowly transition into showing the kind of content that I actually want to show, which is more comedy. Mm-hmm. And maybe I can figure out a way to showcase some animation, or at least guide them to my Instagram where I post stuff. Yeah,
that's so cool.
I don't know exactly yet. But I've started, I do have 2.
Right, I saw that. They're great. Yeah, very cool.
Oh, thank you.
So, and also your handle is also Davey Doodles. Tell me, right?
It's Doodle.
Okay,
Davey.
got it. Sorry. Doodle
it's
Davey.
It's both my TikTok and Instagram
Perfect.
handle.
Okay. Yeah, but I meant to say that because what I meant by saying that was also the fact that even if they come to it from your drinking videos, they'll easily see, I think, that at least you draw, and then they'll be like, what is, you can look into it more. Yeah. Like even at this stage, right? Even before posting more. Yeah.
Right. But, because people watch TikTok so passively.
Yeah.
So even though that video has over 21 million views, and my Instagram is in my bio on TikTok,
Okay.
I've still only gotten, out of all those millions of people, a little, like 150 people to my Instagram.
Oh, that
and you're
is
one of them.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Okay, so
Yeah.
I guess I don't think that really speaks to much other than like the people on TikTok, right? Like
Well,
how they
it's just the
interact
viewing
with
experience of
it. Yeah,
TikTok.
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, how often when you just like you're scrolling and you see something, do you go and then like click on that person's account and look at everything?
Right, because exactly. It's more of like a move on, quick pace sort of thing. It's like designed for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so.
But I'm glad you found it.
Yeah, I did. I think I first saw. I actually first saw an article about you before looking at before TikTok. So like, yeah, does that make sense? I read an article about you.
You probably saw the Insider article.
Yeah, but I think I saw it on Yahoo, which it was on Yahoo.
Right.
You said too, right? Yeah.
And the same article was on there.
Okay,
yeah.
got it. Yeah, which was so cool. It's really amazing. I'm excited to see where it goes because, like as you kind of transition it more to comedy animation, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll lose a bunch of people along the way, but
yeah, who cares?
It's okay if I do. Right.
Yeah.
Then I didn't want them in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. So you already spoke to where our viewers can find you. I'm going to ask you one more thing, actually. How do you... Yeah. So this thing is called Behind the Now, but how do you be the now? Like, how do you stay present?
Oh, right. The name of the podcast.
Yeah.
What this is all about, right?
Right. Like, I always like to have an emphasis on it.
About being present, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm a pretty absent-minded person most of the time. I'd say most of the time I'm not present, so I'm probably not a good person to ask.
Uh-huh.
But I'd say like the 45 minutes we've been talking, I've been present.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I don't usually like to be alone so much.
Interesting.
Because I do find that, when I'm talking to someone, when I'm engaged with someone, I do become present.
Yeah.
Or also if I'm working, depends on which stage of work I'm on, because sometimes work is kind of mindless and I'm just cleaning up drawings, in which case my mind can go anywhere.
Oh, interesting.
But
okay.
In the early stages of the process where you're just kind of figuring things out, at least for me, that requires my full attention. So that forces me to be present. Writing anything, I can't multitask when I'm writing.
Yeah.
I gotta be fully present for that.
Yeah.
Doing I don't think anything forces me to be more present than doing stand-up.
Oh my God, yeah. I would think
no matter what no matter what is going on in your life, good or bad. Yeah. When you're about to go on stage to do that, like none of that matters. It's like you live or die right now in these next 5 minutes.
Yeah, I would think so.
And then you can go back to whatever else is going on in your life.
I feel like that too with acting, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that's very similar.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. It was so good to talk to you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Thank you so much
for reaching out, and also, asking me about things other than water. That's cool.
Yeah. Do you get recognized? Has that happened, like in public, for that?
Yeah, it's happened a few times.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. In general, I didn't know, like, if something goes viral. I don't know. Like, not that I didn't know. I just hadn't, like, thought of it before, So strangers come ask you about it?
No stranger that has recognized me has cared to ask a follow-up question. It's just... Okay. I saw you on TikTok, right? And yeah. Okay. And then they keep going.
That's so funny. That's been
that's just been the extent of it.
Interesting. And also, did you discover any drink through doing this so far? Have you discovered any drink that you actually really like and continue drinking, or no? You're still a water person?
I discovered that I like caramel macchiato from Starbucks.
Okay.
I don't like it enough that I'm ever going to drink it again.
Okay, got it. Wow, that's the closest. And that's the closest. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can acknowledge that it did taste good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. Interesting. All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much again. I appreciate it.